chilly out there this morning. 6 degrees. I'm having a hard time finding the motivation to get out of the camper. We got ourselves a nice little spot on the lake. Picnic table is covered in snow, so we're gonna have to clean that off. And it looks like fire pit's gonna need to be cleaned up as well. Toby and I are gonna have to get started here eventually. But first, I think I'm just gonna finish a cup of coffee. Oh, I don't want to get out there. The older I get, the more this cold seems to affect my body. I'm not saying that I don't absolutely love being out here. I'm just saying it's a little cold right now. I gotta get my winter legs back on. Maybe it's because I'm like 20 pounds lighter than I was last winter, and it's a lot of insulation value there. Oh, let's go back inside quick, Toby. It's not just the cold either, it's that wind. It's about 10 miles an hour, so I think the feel like temperature today is supposed to be around 14 below zero. We're gonna make it work though. First thing, I'm gonna get that fire going because that's gonna feel so much nicer sitting around there and being able to warm the hands up. Oh, what a day. Last weekend I said we didn't have any ice on the lakes, and this weekend it's starting. We'll be ice fishing before we know it. Maybe I'll even see if I can pound a hole out there and see how much ice we got. There's got to be a couple inches. I won't do anything foolish, not going to go far from shore, but I'd like to see how the ice is coming along. It should be good. Trying to hide from the wind a little bit. I think that's gonna go. I was debating on whether or not I was gonna take a spot back in the woods or take this one on the lake. I'm glad I did. Even though it's a little bit windy, this is a beautiful spot. I thought we'd go on a little walk, let Toby stretch his legs. I was at this campsite a little over a year ago. It was right after my ex-father-in-law passed away. I came out here and made a video. It was at this campsite right here. That weekend was really windy out. So we got into this spot here, got tucked in, and we made lasagna right there on that table. This campground holds some memories for me. First time I was here, I was probably 14, 15 years old with my friend's family. They brought their Cocker Spaniel. I remember it peed on my pillow. Good times. I don't recall which campsite we were in. Everything seemed so much bigger back then. There's an old Volt toilet back there. This must be a pack-in sites. They don't have a map for the campground, but I've always wanted to check out what's back here. You wouldn't think they would put a Volt toilet out in the middle of the woods if it doesn't lead to something. Nope, it is just an old Volt toilet out in the middle of the woods. It's all boarded up. They must have had pack-in sites back here. Hunting season's over with, so might as well make our way back here and see what's going on. Pretty views. Come on, Toby, let's go. I think we're gonna head back to the camper. Toby's camera is shut off on him like 3 times now because of the cold temperatures. Gotta love these GoPros. See how much ice we got. It's been pretty cold that night. There's got to be a few inches. I think this looks good here. Oh yeah, it's got to be 2.5 inches. I don't think I'm going to put a line in tonight though. I didn't bring anything with. Didn't expect there to be this much ice. Oh, that'll get your heart beating. Toby's been inside, cuddled up around the heater this afternoon. He's smart. He knows what to do. He's just got to get used to the cold, just like I do. I was going to cook over the fire tonight, but I'm just not feeling it. This is the first real stretch of cold weather that we've got. I got to get used to it yet. Man, this heat feels good. perfect night for chili. Let me show you how I make it. Grab a pound of hamburger, some butter. It's a super simple recipe. We're going to make it all in the Dutch oven. That way we don't dirty a bunch of dishes. It only takes about 15 minutes to prepare and about an hour to simmer. It's going to smell excellent in here. We're going to start with a tablespoon of butter in the Dutch oven. And we're just going to brown this up. Next, I got to chop up 1 whole white onion, 1 green pepper, and 1 red pepper. And that's going to go in. Now we're going to cook this for a couple of minutes until the onions turn translucent. It smells good already. Turn the heat down a little bit. It's time to add the spices. We don't want to burn them. First, we're going to start off 4 cloves of garlic. Next, a teaspoon of cumin. 1/4 tablespoon of cayenne pepper. Teaspoon of salt. 3/4 teaspoons of black pepper. Last up, 2 tablespoons chili powder. We're going to cook this for about 2 minutes. If you could only smell this. Next up, we got 14 ounces fire roasted tomatoes. 15 ounces crushed tomatoes. And 4 ounces crushed green chilies. We're going to turn the heat back up and add in 1.5 cups of beef broth. And then for the secret ingredient, about 2 ounces of dark chocolate. We're just going to let that melt. And then we're going to let it simmer. It's probably going to take a good hour. The longer we can let it simmer, better it's going to taste. In the meantime, I get to clean up this camper. Maybe even go sit by the fire. If you're wondering what Toby gets for treats, right there. He loves carrots. All you have to do now is sit back and relax. I'm going to clean this place, get some work done. I'll catch up in a little bit. Man, this smells so good. But first, I think the picnic table is covered in snow, so we're gonna have to clean that off. And it looks like the fire pit's gonna need to be cleaned up as well. Smells amazing. Just gonna top it off with a little bit of sour cream and some cheese. What an excellent idea. I turned the generator on, charge up the house batteries a little bit, and then I just got an electric heater going in here. That's enough to keep this place warm. I don't have to run the gas heater, save on some propane. I'll shut it off before I go to bed. I need to make sure that I can run that generator in the morning and make the coffee. You'll have to let me know if you try this recipe. It's awesome. One of the nice things about it being wintertime, this can go right in the truck. Well, I think I gotta head outside, shut that generator off, check on the fire. It's so cold outside. I'll see you in the morning. I turned on the power station last night, probably about 3 o'clock, just to help keep the house batteries going. The wind was shaking the camper around and it was kind of chilly in here, so I brought in the slide. That really helped. It's a beautiful morning though. Thankfully, I don't got to start the generator up. The power station's got enough in there to make a pot of coffee. Well, we got to get packing up. We're celebrating Thanksgiving at my sister's house in about 5 hours. I don't know if I'm going to have enough time to take a shower. You ready to go home, Toby? I hope those fuel filters help. I even got half a tank of number 1 in here, so it should start. I'm happy. This looks like a train this morning. I'm gonna let this warm up for a little while, and then I'm gonna go enjoy Thanksgiving with family. I hope you had a good Thanksgiving. We'll do this again next week. Until then, be kind, be honest. We'll see you down the road. Toby, it's still cold outside.